everybody. Welcome to another Bourbon show. As usual, I'm Dan Schmidt, joined with some of my best friends. Got Steven. Say hi, Steven.
How's it going, guys?
And we got Ryan Namoff.
What's going on?
What's going on? The newly married Ryan Namoff. The man got hitched.
Happy to see you kept your last name, Ryan.
What'd you say?
So I'm happy you kept your last name.
Yeah. She's changing hers, I'll tell you that. otherwise the wedding or the marriage is over.
There goes the two female viewers we had.
Both of them.
Yeah.
So, thanks for joining. Again, this is another Bourbon show. Tonight, we are going to be drinking this bad boy right here. This is Michter's Sour Mash Whiskey, the US 1 version, not the higher labeled toasted barrel. Really quick background on Michter's. Michter's was originally up in Pennsylvania. They went defunct. They got bought out and are now located in Louisville, Kentucky. They just started up about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, something like that. And I will go ahead and say pretty confidently that Michter's is actually my very favorite distillery. I know Buffalo Trace get all the love, but I like what Michter's is doing better than any other distillery out there. Tonight we are going to be drinking the Sour Mash. Sour Mash, this is not a bourbon. This is a whiskey. The exact mash bill is not actually known, but based on the label itself, we know that it is less than 50% corn. We also know it's less than 50% rye. We do know that it used to be 45% rye, 45% corn, 10% barley, but they have changed it since then, so we don't know exactly what it is. We're going to be doing some what I'm calling Bourbon. Bourbon. You know what's on my brain.
Heyo.
We're going to be doing some bourbon boot camps to talk about some specifics, but sour mash is a specific type of mash process done in the distillery that we'll get into in one of those. You can check those out. Probably one of the links that'll be down below at some point. Sour mash is 86 proof. It's not very, very strong as far as proof goes, but it's packed with flavor. Steven, what do you think of that label?
You know, I do not love this label. I don't hate it either. I'm pretty middle of the road with this label. There's something about the typeface that they're using or font. I can't remember which term you're supposed to use, but that little M looks a lot like the Monster Energy drink M to me for some reason. I can't get past that. And I get that these guys were probably around first, though I don't know. But to me, Monster's got that. You got to change it now. And so it just looks kind of like, I don't know. There's something about the aesthetic I don't like. What is the thing in the middle, by the way?
That is a pot still.
Okay. I figured it was something in the distillation process that they had there. To me, I give this one probably a 5 out of 10. This is very middle of the road. I feel very lukewarm about it. I do like the color, though, that they chose to go with on the label.
Okay. Well, this is the color for the sour mash. The rye, the whiskey, and the bourbon have a different color. For the most part, the rest of the label is very similar on those bottles, though. I do have to share one geeky fun fact about Michter's, by the way. I mentioned that they were originally from Pennsylvania. Michter's in Pennsylvania was actually founded in 1753. If they had not shut down, they would far and away be the oldest distillery in the United States. And you know who at one point got really drunk off of Michter's?
Joe Paterno?
Probably. Not who I was thinking, though.
Oh.
General George fucking Washington. At Valley Forge. Supposedly, at Valley Forge, he had a bunch of Michter's shipped in like at Valley Forge prior to crossing the Delaware and kicking some British ass. So,
that's awesome.
Citation fucking needed on that one.
I'll look for it. I'll look for it. Okay. If I find it, will you include the link, Stephen?
Yeah, I'll include the link.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Jesus, dude.
All right.
He had
So
some McDonald's too. The McRib is back, he said right before he died.
Happy meals for everybody. And chase it with Michters.
This episode brought to you by Aquafina.
What we're saying is we need sponsors, people. We need sponsors. So
we will say any president you want had this on a battlefield somewhere.
All right. So I mean, I guess we should start drinking, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to be drinking this straight with some water and with some ice. I need to put the ice in there. But first up is going to be straight, just neat. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Salud.
Tasting a lot of honey.
Yeah.
I get honey.
You know, I was going to say earlier that, and this is just whenever I opened the little bottle you gave me for the stand.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that I would love to have Jack honey side by side with it, because that's exactly what I smelled whenever I opened it up. And I would love to do the Pepsi challenge with it side by side, because I remember Jack honey. I don't have a bottle with me, but I remember it smelling like I have Jack honey was what I drank like late college quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Just like, you know, I have it with dinner or something all the time. And I just have a lot of like flashbacks to that drinking this now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, for the listeners, if this is your first time joining us, we didn't mention it earlier, but so I run a bourbon website, involved in a bunch of bourbon society groups, whatever. Ryan is he works for a distributor. Stephen loves bourbon, he loves whiskey, but we would say that he's newer to the bourbon experience. Or the whiskey experience in general, although he loves it. So a lot of times we like to hit up Stephen with his impressions because he is a little bit newer. So, I mean, when you were in college and you weren't blackout drunk, how does this compare to what you do remember of Jack Lemon?
Well,
Jack Honey.
Yeah, so one of the things that I don't like about Jack Honey and some other like sweeter whiskeys is that there's that I don't know, there's almost like, what do you call it? You call it legs on the glass?
Syrupy type.
Yeah, it's like there's just a different texture to it that I don't see from this. Although maybe I see a little bit more than I did in some of the other whiskeys. And I just feel like bad drinking it. You know what I mean? There's like that where it's like and then if you try to open the bottle later, this is not Jack Honey so much, but like Screwball and stuff like that. You try to open the cap later and it's like sealed shut from the sugar.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know, something feels weird about that to me. So
yeah,
I feel less bad drinking this. So, I am somebody who I like Jack Honey on occasion. And so I feel like this, my first impression, I would say is this is like a better Jack Honey, if you will.
Okay.
Even though I still love Jack Honey.
Only because it's on topic. I want to get to what Ryan thinks too, but because it's so on topic right now, I want to throw out there the fact that a huge difference here between Screwball or Jack Honey or Crown Peach or any of those is that they go ahead, they make their whiskey, and then they do add things to it to give it the honey flavor or to give it the peach flavor or the peanut butter flavor for a Screwball. This has nothing in it at all. It is purely a whiskey that went into a barrel, that it sat in the barrel, it came out of the barrel, and then it got into this bottle. So you'll never have a situation where like a syrup or any sort of a sugary substance keeps the cap closed, because there's literally like no difference between this and their bourbon or their American whiskey or their rye. It just so happens that the process that they use for this reveals a honey, a note of honey in it.
And I do understand that, just to be
Okay.
clear.
I didn't know if the listeners did.
Right, sure. I understand that, and that's kind of what I like about this, because for me, one of the big reasons why I initially tried whiskey was because the only other thing I really drank was beer, and I didn't really like drinking beer that often, to be honest. Like, I try to, like, overall be kind of careful about what I put in my body, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
Except for Dick.
I left that one open. But I really tried to,
I
like...
shut myself up.
I tried to like go the route of, you know, if you just drink, you know, a liquor, then it's less, I don't know, it's less bad overall, your bad calories or something you're putting in your body, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So to me, to not have this sugary, syrupy drink, but still have like a really nice sort of sweet taste to it is really cool. I do like it.
Awesome. All right, Ryan, what do you think of it, bud?
I definitely get that honey, the sweetness to it. I drink it. It just reminds me of fall. Like the weather's getting a little cooler. I don't know for whatever reason, it just kind of brings me back to that. I had this for the first time a couple months ago. Then I had it again in St. Louis, I believe, or that might have been their bourbon actually.
Okay.
I'm just a fan of what I've had of theirs. It's great. It's relatively new, what I've seen in Chicago, just in the market.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, to what I've seen and what I know, it's, you know, I haven't seen a lot of it, and every time I drink it, I enjoy it. So I kind of get that, you know, the toffee, the honey, that sweetness, a little caramel, goes down smooth.
Corn. I could see a candy corn flavor in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think that's kind of why it just like brings me back to like, you know, Halloween, October. It's good. I enjoy it. I like it a lot. I drink it a lot. I went to a cigar lounge with my brother and his boss and a few of his friends. I brought a bottle because his boss loves the Michter's rye.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, I got a bottle of sour mash. This is for you. And we smoked it with cigars. It pairs well with cigars too. So
yeah.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
You
said that candy corn.
Yeah. So I pick up honey and candy corn. I can't say enough good things about pretty much any Michter's product. I will say, I don't want this to come across the wrong way because I do like sour mash, but Michter's sour mash is my least favorite of the entire Michter's portfolio. I think that their rye is the best of their US one. So Michter's has a huge portfolio. Well, not huge, but they've got, so in US one, they've got their American whiskey, they've got bourbon, sour mash, and rye. Then they have occasional limited editions of a toasted barrel finish. So once it comes out of the normal barrel, it goes into a different barrel that has a different charring technique used. Then they've got a 10-year version, a 20-year version, and a 25-year version of pretty much all four of their offerings. And then they have a really limited edition, really limited edition versions, which is Bombergers, and it's called Shanks. That's a historical line that they offer. Every year they only come out with about 1,700 or 1,800 bottles. 1,700 or 1,800 bottles of Bombergers and 1,700 or 1,800 bottles of Shanks. And to me, the sour mash is the weakest offering that they have, but it's still heads and shoulders above so many other distilleries. So yeah, I mean, I love it. It's Michter's. They're my people. That's my distillery that I love so much. We should also mention, you'll find this at stores. A lot of stores. It's not hard to find. In the 50 to 50, well, 45 to $55 range is what you'll typically see it on a shelf. I paid $45 for this bottle at my favorite group of stores, the Glenmart Glenmart BP in Glen Carbon, Illinois. Steven got his from me. And Ryan, do you remember what you paid for yours?
I actually didn't pay anything for mine. I traded 2 bottles of Blanton's for it just because I have a lot of Blantons in my house right now.
Yeah.
It's actually it's kind of difficult to find up here.
Oh, is it really?
It's a little easier. Yeah. I mean, I don't have the easiest time finding it, but I'm sure if I put my head down and really tried, I could, but from the stores I go into, I don't really see it in a lot of places. And I actually talked to the rep who sells it with me, or not with me, but for the other company. And he's like, yeah, it's allocated. I can't send it anywhere. So
no kidding.
yeah, so that's coming from him unless he had his facts wrong. He doesn't work for the company I work for. So,
Okay.
but he's like, a lot of their stuff's allocated and I don't have authorization to send it anywhere. So,
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Down here in the St. Louis area, you can pick it up at not most grocery stores, but Schnucks has it pretty regularly. Deerberg's has it somewhat regularly. My favorite group of stores, they pretty much always have it. Dean's in Collinsville has it most of the time. So, yeah, I would say it's not overly challenging, but yeah. So
Yeah, it's cool that
share.
Schnucks has it because I only see Ryan Bourbon in my accounts mainly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So maybe they'll start to get it starting in the spring. We'll see. That's when the resets start and they put all the new products in. So
Yeah.
Boring stuff I'm talking about, but yeah, it's cool. And then sometimes you'll see they had these Beam gift packs that sometimes they'll discontinue after Christmas because they hadn't sold all of them. So it'll be Makers 46 and Makers for $5.99, 375s each. Just because the store wants to get rid of it. Yeah, I've come across that stuff before. I mean, it'll be on the floor for like 10 minutes before it gets all bought up. But
I like Makers.
Yeah, Makers is good.
People go nuts for any Buffalo Trace product, but I'm still a believer that there are so many bourbons out there, and I'm gonna call out Weller right now. Weller makes phenomenal I love Weller. Don't misinterpret this, but with Weller, I'm confident that if somebody did a blind tasting between Weller Special Reserve and Maker's Mark, they'd be 50-50 on which they would say they prefer. Now, don't do it blindly and let them see that label. Oh, I prefer Weller all day. Oh, Weller. Motherfucker, come on now. Like, quit being a label chaser and whatever. Anyway, I don't want to get off.
Maker's good. That was one of the first bourbons I ever drank.
Maker's Mark, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
They got a special edition coming out pretty soon that I'm going to have to try to find. Last year, their special edition was called RC6. This year, it's like 6 different letters that make no sense. And it's.
I should have had you pick me up a bottle of Bomberger's Shanks. I had no idea the connection. Just because I don't know a lot about Michter's,
Yeah.
I love drinking it. The history I didn't really know besides what was on the bottle. But yeah, I'm kicking myself in the nuts right now. You can't see, but I am.
Connections, yours dropped a little bit there.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, did it?
It did. It's fine. We get you were going off on a rant.
I have Verizon.
Well, there goes
T-Mobile.
Verizon as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan. Good job. Great job here.
I'm gonna try this with a little bit of water now, I think.
No, Bombergers. Seriously, the 2020 Bombergers, it might be the single best bourbon I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Like, no kidding. It might be the best I've ever, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I got a bottle of Old Fitzgerald 15 right now. Bombergers blows it away. I've got a bottle of, I got a lot of bottles right now, and Bomburgers blows everything that I currently have on hand completely out of the water. Not even
Well,
close.
if I come down there, you'll have to let me try it. Just a little sip.
Yeah, absolutely. You can take a sample. I'll give you a 4-ounce sample.
I feel bad. That's a lot.
We'll do an episode on it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
I
So
don't
what do you
drink it
think of it
before
with
then.
water, Steven?
I'm glad I didn't put too much in the water because I do not like it with water very much at all.
I agree.
I would have rather had that back and had it neat. It loses basically any of the complexity of the taste. Like I taste no honey now as a result.
All I taste is pepper now with the water.
Yep.
Yeah. Makes me want to sneeze almost.
I'm gonna go ahead and try with ice too.
Oh no.
Now with ice?
Mm-mm.
All right, I won't put that much in.
Save it and just drink it neat. Yeah, just drink it neat.
I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Did you already pour it into the water?
No. I
the
have I have this little mini fridge behind me, and
Okay.
I have a glass of ice in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, instead I'll just do a little of this. What do you
Top
think?
it off a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just so whenever for the show specifically, I pour a 2-ounce. I have a 2-ounce pour, and I normally put like 5 drops of water, and just those 5 little drops of water, holy cow, masks everything except for pepper. That's all I taste is a really spicy pepper.
Yeah, I think I put about the same ratios in, Dan, as you. And I agree. I also think the scent is really weird. I even get a weird scent from the ice as well. It's almost like this is going to sound really weird, but almost like what Scotch tape smells like in a way.
I agree. Only with ice.
Right.
Yeah. Got to drink it neat. That's the way to drink it. I have used it in a Manhattan before, and it does make a nice Manhattan. I don't know that I've ever made it or like used it for a whiskey sour. Certainly not a whiskey Coke. I don't think I've ever even used it in an old fashioned. But it does make a pretty decent Manhattan. So, if anybody cares.
It would make a good old fashioned, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I like a little bit of a sweeter finish on the old fashioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, tell us about your honeymoon. Did you put a baby in it?
Yes. No. No babies.
No?
No babies for a while.
Okay.
I don't know. I want to enjoy life for a little while. Sorry, all baby listeners.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. We flew into Reno from Dallas, so we were in Dallas. I've been COVID tested because I've been in like 3 states that are on the do not travel list in Illinois/Chicago. So after the wedding, my fiance's Indian, so we did a whole Indian wedding, and I wore the whole outfit for about 7 hours. Hurt my feet, but I actually looked pretty good, I thought.
I thought so. In the picture, I thought you looked very handsome.
If you saw the picture, there are a few pictures on Facebook. So we flew into Reno. We actually flew in at night, and we could see all the forest fires in California, which was interesting.
Oh, wow.
I have a bunch of pictures on my phone. I'll send you one of them. But it was kind of, mesmerizing almost. It looked beautiful from the distance, but it was not a beautiful thing at all. When you see it, you're like, oh, is that a city over there? It's like, oh, no, it's just a fire. So that wasn't great. So we landed, and there was a bunch of smoke. We got out. We stayed at the Peppermill Casino in Reno.
How was it? 5-star location?
It was awesome. Probably 5-star for Reno. I liked it.
Wait, have you been to Atlantic City?
No.
Okay. I was going to
I
ask you to
almost did
compare
once.
Reno and Atlantic City.
We got into Reno. We drove the next night. We actually got stuck on the runway for 3 hours going out of Dallas because there were huge storms.
Were you still wearing your Muslim garb?
No, I was in shorts and a t-shirt.
Might get a random stop there, huh?
Right.
Yeah. We drove down to South Lake Tahoe and we stayed at the Edgewood, which is a really nice resort. They actually do the celebrity golf tournament every year. That's
cool.
televised. I think Bill Murray golfs in, a few other people. So when we were sitting there, I was on my balcony. I just swam in the lake and it was like 60 degrees. It felt awesome though. The ring was kind of sliding off my finger and I put my swim trunks on the chair and it falls off my hand. I try to catch it. It lands perfectly on its side. It rolls off the balcony into the grass. I spent 10 minutes looking for it. So that wasn't very fun. I'm like, hey, can you stand up here and try to look for it for me? And eventually I found it. And we went to dinner at Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, had some beef Wellington, and told them it was my birthday, and they didn't bring out anything birthday related. So they did it at a table next to me. I think they confused the tables, but it was okay. I only paid $10 for the dessert, whatever. That was a good time. It was fun. You know, it was only about 4 or 5 days. With what's going on with work and days off, I don't have a lot left. So
Yeah.
because of COVID. So we plan to go to Europe next year at some point, but I recommend Lake Tahoe. This is a Lake Tahoe shirt right here, sweater. It's awesome. I don't know if you've ever been, either of you two, but you've been, Dan?
I have.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
We went on this boat. The water, I guess, is 99.994% pure.
Yep.
So it's classified as a distilled water. So water you buy at the grocery store, Lake Tahoe has a higher distillation rate, I guess, which is pretty cool. And you could see boats that have sunk in there completely clear through the water. It was like the Caribbean. It was insane. So I recommend it.
It's gorgeous.
Try to go when there's no fires, you know.
I mean, when are there not?
Smoky.
That's the hard thing.
Gonna have to get to that. Gonna have to get to Lake Tahoe quick so I can see that for myself before BP gets to it and just dumps oil into it.
There goes another sponsor, Steven. Great job here.
It was cool though. I'd like to see it in the winter too. All the snow on the mountains and on the trees. I couldn't recommend it enough. Go, Steven, you should go. You know, instead of looking for houses, you should go to Lake Tahoe instead.
It's
fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You gotta have a credit card.
So Ryan, have you made up with your mom?
Yeah, it's fine now.
Okay.
It's fine now, thankfully.
I sent her a direct message and she never replied.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember why. But I just sent her a message just like, hey, Kelly, how's it going? She saw it. She never replied. Fuck, Kelly. Kelly Mamoff. Calling you out.
She's good.
Why are you sliding into her DMs?
Come on, dude. I've known Kelly for a long time. She and I have a great relationship. She's the only one of the people on this podcast that I'm Facebook friends with, by the way. Y'all are not Facebook friends with her. So
that's true. It's a pretty exclusive club.
She deleted me. She added my brother back, but not me, I guess. I don't know. I don't even have an option to like add her back. It just says message.
A full block.
I didn't know that's possible. But
so you tried to add her back and she has not accepted?
No, I can't add her as a friend. Like it just doesn't let me. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know. I didn't know my mom knew about Facebook, profile settings. She could hardly text message as it is. I mean, it's like 2-day response rate, So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's some feature. If you hate your son, you could just have him deleted and not add you ever again.
If you were already saved as like a son or something to her, and then she went ahead and like blocked you or something, I bet it's just like, ooh, this must be pretty bad. Like, let's
TMZ just automatically calls you.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that bad. I don't understand. So I just posted a picture on a thread. You and your friends need to stop attacking me on my Facebook.
And by friends, she means just me.
Yeah. But she seems fine now. After the wedding, I think she kind of leveled out a little bit.
And did your sister and your brother go down there too?
Yeah, they both did.
Okay.
They both did. My mom and sister dressed in like the Indian outfits.
Oh, they did?
And my dad and brother would just wear suits.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I had a couple buddies fly in from Chicago that I work with,
mm-hmm.
who know us pretty well. So I didn't, hardly invited anyone just because of COVID and everything. So we're having a big reception and another wedding at a later date, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty. It went a lot smoother and better than I thought. Everyone was really nice and friendly and accepting. Which, not that I didn't expect. I honestly didn't know what to expect at all.
Have you spent much time in Texas before this?
Oh, I've probably been to Texas like 15, 20 times visiting her. Okay. Yeah. So quite a bit. Not to like your hometown, but
yeah.
Mainly just Dallas, the burbs, Fort Worth, and I've been to Austin once. I like it down there. It's nice. It was fucking 115 degrees every day. Just terrible. The heat was terrible. I remember I swam at 7:30 at night and it was still 105 out. I stayed at the coolest Airbnb though. I was on an airport hangar at a private airport in McKinney, Texas. Just badass. I mean, the guy had like a Porsche, a Ferrari, like a bunch of cars, a plane, and Jesus. It's like half the airport's like unincorporated, so it's not in McKinney, so there's no housing codes. So people just have like crazy houses and pools everywhere, and they have old World War II planes just hanging out. It's actually really cool. My brother pulled up in his Uber, and we were out on a tour that the guy gave us. Awesome guy too. You should stay at his Airbnb. Just Google like Airbnb McKinney Airport, and it should come up. But my brother pulls up in his Uber, and the hangar doors open, and we're out on like this golf cart thing. So there's like a Ferrari, a Porsche, a huge plane, like a bunch of shit, and the Uber driver is just like taking pictures of the hangar, of the airport hangar. I mean, how many times has an Uber driver just pulled into like an airport hangar like that? So
yeah,
it was pretty neat.
Man, you cracked me up when you text me about how Mahan wanted you to like arrive in your in your clothes, and you were like, I am not walking out on an airport runway wearing that outfit.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good joke, but also like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Department of Homeland Security would just magically appear and shoot you.
Yeah, and I'm in Texas, I'm in Texas on top of that. It was funny, too. I was at the pool at that airport hangar, and I'm sitting there in the pool, and the guy who owns the Airbnb, the mailboxes are right by the pool. He's like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? And then we look off like a quarter mile away. There's like this coyote that was running. I'm like, oh, shit, there's a coyote on the runway. He's like, oh, I have a dog. He's like, I had a dog, but good thing I don't anymore if there's coyotes running around. And then a few seconds later, a guy's walking behind the coyote. He's like, oh, it's not a coyote. It's just a half dog, half wolf that the guy owns. I'm like, what? Where the fuck am I staying? I got to walk back. I don't want to get eaten. But yeah, I was like, I'm not wearing that. I didn't tell her that
a
story.
Dog during an Airbnb is exactly how I thought you'd go. That's the obituary I saw for you.
Half wolf, dude.
It was half wolf. Listen, dude.
Yeah.
The marmot is not the issue
here. So it was a good time, though. It was a good experience. I was off work too. It's been hard working this week, man. Just no motivation.
Yeah.
I've not had 2 weeks off of work since I started.
Yeah. So what's been going on in your life, Steven?
Well, I also had, like, yesterday I finished one of the biggest projects so far in my professional career, and that I migrated a telephone, the full migration of a telephone system and communications platform, really, for a company. And it all went smoothly. So all went good, but it's just a lot of work to undertake that. and it's one of those projects that, just to keep it short, because it's not like super interesting if you're not involved, but
I mean, it's not interesting at all.
but basically like the logistics of like moving how everybody communicates in a company from one platform to another is just such an undertaking. So for all of it to go well, it was just it was cool, I guess.
Well, good. I'm glad it went well.
Yeah,
I did something like that once. With Breeze. Connected my AirPods to my iPad today. Can't be harder than that.
Episode number 4, and you still forget how to do it every
It's like episode 1 every week. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, I got my iPad on a case of spotted cow right now. That's how it stands up.
Wait, you're doing this?
I'm not joking. That's how I have my iPad. So every time you see me, it's sitting up against a 12-pack of New Glarus spotted cow.
I thought at first you were saying that you had an iPod that you were using, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, iPod Nano.
You really phoning this in. You're using a fucking iPod.
I wish.
Do they still make iPods, or do they just give that up?
They are not on the Apple website, because I had that exact same question within the last week and couldn't find them on their website at all.
Do they make iPod Touches still, or no?
No, they didn't.
He's talking about all iPod. Who gives a shit? Who would delineate between the two?
I love my iPod Classic, man.
But the Touch, come on, that's different. That's special.
Imagine that. Imagine how that would go if Dan goes, they don't have the iPods anymore. Ryan goes, they still have the iPod Touch? And Dan was like, they do have the iPod Touch. I was like, what the fuck? Who would talk like that?
I was thinking like the old school, like spin wheel iPod. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's not even Touch then. That's just a regular iPod.
No, that's why I was asking about the iPod, because the iPod Touch, it's like Steve Jobs probably like, how about the iPhone without the phone?
Steve Jobs is dead.
I know, but I'm saying how they created the iPod Touch. It's like, how about the iPhone without the phone?
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying.
And they're like, all right, let's call it an iPod.
Yeah. The most insane one to me is the iPod Shuffle. Do you remember the Shuffle that?
Was that the one that was like the clip?
Yeah, like and there was also one that was like a rod shape, I think.
Yeah,
I think
they had a couple of them.
And there was no screen or anything, so it was just like whatever you want to play me in my library, you know.
And you had no way of controlling what played.
You can just skip it. Yeah, you can either skip it or reshuffle or whatever. But I mean, I've got so much shit in my library, I basically never want to hear. I could never use that.
Steve, I will say, nice Richard Spencer haircut, by the way. Jesus Christ.
Wait, I mean,
that's a white nationalist.
I know who Richard Spencer is, but I mean, like, I think he very commonly has your exact haircut, though, which is why it's a weird.
No, I got hair on the side. You got like.
No, he does the same thing though. He does the same thing as you. Like that famous video where he gets punched. He is like your haircut right now.
Dude, it's your haircut. You're blonde. I'm not blonde.
I'll put up a picture of what I'm talking about right next to Ryan right now. You guys will see what I'm saying. He has like your exact haircut a lot, dude.
Dude, look, your side of your head shaved. That's how he.
I know. I don't misunderstand what you're saying, Ryan. I'm just saying that he also has your haircut a lot, which is why it's a weird date.
I mean, I think you both kind of look like white nationalists.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
But Steven looks more like a lesbian white nationalist.
Thank you, Dan. Look, I'm just the guy who the side of my hair grows out weird. Like it just grows straight out, so I look better like this. I'm not a Nazi, dude. My hair just grows weird, dude. Dude, until I shaved the swastika in my hair, it just looked weird, okay?
I guess you and I have similar haircuts.
You know, now that I think about it, we should quick disclaimer, okay? If all you've ever watched is episode 3 and episode 4. Episode 3 being last week with the early times and being joined by Nolan Sharkey, and this week, I promise you, we believe in Black Lives Matter, right? like we are fucking around right now. we recognize that we are privileged and we can make these jokes. So, Steven, how long did it take the swastika to grow back? Like,
The side of my hair just looks weird. I'm telling you, I had to do this.
so the reason I was looking into the Apple website, maybe you guys don't know this, but I realized how fat I have gotten, and I've started working out and trying to get more active and to lose some weight. And I was looking at the Apple Watches, and when I was on the Apple website, I was like, hey, do iPods still exist? And I didn't see them anywhere. So that's the reason I know this. I ended up going with a Fitbit. So Fitbit, if you would like to sponsor us, that would be great. This is a phenomenal product. It truly helps. And I also bought myself a Fitbit scale, which tells me that I lost 3 pounds last week.
Nice.
Just throwing that out there. One of the things I like so much about the Fitbit is that, like, it really does help motivate me, right? Like, at every, like, not the entire day, but I think it's from like 7 o'clock a.m. until like 5 o'clock p.m. At like 7:50, it tells me if I haven't hit 250 steps, it tells me like how many left to go. So like I could, like, at 7:50, if I've only had 150 steps, it's like, hey, 100 left to go. That tells me if I'm available. Well, Dan, get off your fat ass and walk 100 steps.
Wait, you're talking about like 200 steps over like an 8-9 hour span?
No. Per hour. Per hour.
Okay.
So per hour, right?
Okay.
So like
I was like, oh Jesus, dude.
no wonder I'm fat. Let's see how many steps I got in today. Today
These
was
bed sores are a son of a bitch.
What's that?
I said these bed sores are a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
No wonder my ass hurts. There's your chance, Steven. So
from dicks.
For anybody out there in the listening community, if you're considering losing weight, I will throw out there that bourbon is the drink of choice for you. In a 2-ounce pour, it averages 83 calories per 2-ounce pour.
And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. That was one of the reasons why I just stopped drinking as much beer.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that this was the better choice. And then, you have all those whiskeys that have a bunch of additives that are just like crusting your bottle shut.
Yeah.
So got to watch out for those. But this is a great choice. And speaking of which, we should rate Michter's Sour Mash.
Oh, shit, we should. Steven, why don't you go first? I want to hear what you think of it first.
Well, I already liked it quite a bit. And then I also noticed something I didn't notice earlier. Maybe it was just having the glass, it's sitting in my glass a little bit longer and being out in the open, and then just leaving the taste in my mouth for a while. But I have I taste a little bit of chocolate too now as well. Just very little bit.
Mm.
And that ups it a little bit for me from even before when I liked it. And I think that this is probably my favorite whiskey I've tried so far, which surprises me, by the way, because I think I said earlier in one of our early episodes that I've never really liked anything that had sour mash as part of its like label.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to give this one probably 7.3.
Wow.
I think I'll give it. And so that tops like the unofficial ranking that I gave to like Fighting Cock, I think, in the first episode, which was like
6-8, right?
I think I think so. I think it's something like that. So yeah, I think I give this one, low 7s.
Very nice. Ryan, I know you love this one, but what's your number?
I do love it. There's some things I like more, obviously, but this is good. I'm 7.6. I think it's great. I like it. I feel like 8 and 9s are kind of getting into the rare territory. You know what I mean?
Oh God, yeah. To me, that's hollowed ground up in the 8s.
Yeah. Yeah, but by far my favorite so far too.
So you said 7.6?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to split the middle and go with 7.4. That's where I put it. if it was the rye, I'd go up to like 7, 8, something like that. Probably if my memory of tasting it is accurate. But yeah,
the rye is very good.
Before. Their rye is so damn good. I mean, their bourbon and their whiskey is too. Everything that Michter's does is great. Michter's, you should really sponsor our show. Matter of fact, Michter's, if you're listening, Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel just came out, and I have a bottle. I want to do a blind tasting with the three of us. Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel versus Michter's Toasted Barrel. I don't want any of the three of us to know which is which. I want to just give them a try. So Michter's, reach out to me. Send me a bottle of your toasted bourbon. You haven't released it in at least a year, because the last bottle I had of it was gone about 1.5 years ago. So Michter's, hook us up. Just send us a bottle.
He follows you on Twitter now, doesn't he?
He does. I haven't done a direct ask, but
and I want $4.5 million. I'm shooting a little bit higher, but if you're listening. But I had to cut quite a bit in that episode.
And see, the listeners right now, they get insight from this. They know how much work you put into this now, Stephen. I mean, you're probably going to cut all of this out so that it's a waste. But if you decide to keep it in, like, what a great experience for both of our listeners.
They get to hear this, and then how you converted numbers out of a phone book into some internet system thing.
Yeah, and that's actually how it's done too. You just you took the numbers from the book. This guy thinks phone books still exist. What the fuck are you doing?
He uses a scissors and actually cuts them.
No, the phone book's gone. It's the phone book touch that they've still got.